What's up, guys? Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Not really anything useful, but useful for me. I gotta clean up my toolbox, so we're gonna be putting a 2J head on a 1J block. As you guys know, I'm doing the 1.5J, so that means 1J head on 2J block. So I have this whole extra motor, pretty pointless, that is taking up space. If you guys haven't seen the previous video, the 2J head was sitting on the table. Now I got the 1J pistons and rods sitting on the table, and it's making my workbench useless pretty much. So to save space, and since that block is pretty much useless as of right now, I'm going to put it all back together, put the pistons and rods back into the motor, and then I'm going to bolt the 2J head to it. Obviously it's not going to be right. I don't have the right tools to do it properly. But because they're pretty much trashed, like they're still useful, but like for right now they're trashed to me. We're just going to put them in that motor and tighten everything back up. That way I can just put it off to the side, or who knows. But yeah, I figured I'd just film it because why not? 2.5J or 2 minus half J. What would you guys call it? 2J head on 1J bottom end. So let's just go ahead and get my stuff over there in the center of the garage, and then we'll put it together. So I'm just gonna lay this out now. This is not a how-to video. This is not something you should try at home. This is not something that I'd recommend at all. Because honestly, I don't even see the point of putting a 2J head on a 1J bottom end. Besides, I think the 1J bottom end revs higher, but I don't know. But I figured it'd be very entertaining and whatnot to get this stuff. Just, I don't know, good content, bad content. I don't know. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start tearing this apart, and we'll get to it. So what you're gonna want to do is, once you get your piston rings off, right? It's not supposed to be like that. We kind of broke 2 of them. Oh well. But once you get the ring off with the flathead screwdriver, you want to go ahead and just shove her on in there, hit her in, look at the back side, make sure it lines up with the crank, and just keep giving her good snaps until she lines up. You may have to stick your finger in there, and there you go. Look at that, nice and settled. 1 and 6 is at top dead center, so now you know you're good. So go ahead and flip her on around and put the cam caps on, or the rod caps. Now she's flipped upside down. As you can see, it's very tight tolerances with the pistons, so they're not just gonna fall off. So you're good. You want to make sure to put the safety pin back on here on the stand. That way your shit doesn't fall. You gotta make sure it's aligned mostly. Then you can stick the pin in there. Boom. Pin's in there, you're good. Then you just take your caps, sit her on in there, plop. And I put these in order, so I'm making sure that the right rod caps are going with the same pistons in the same cylinder they came out of. So you guys know cylinder number 2 is the fucked up one, so you want to make sure you keep the fucked up ones with the fucked up ones. That's how you make it run forever. So boom, now that they're all dropped in there, it's gonna take your handy dandy small impact, not the big boy, just a small little drill one, so you can power through them, make it quicker, and just zap them all in. So let's zap them in real quick. And keep in mind, these are the stock rod bolts are 12 points, so don't use your normal 6 point or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't use your normal 6 point hex sockets. You want to make sure you get your 12 points. And if you need an extension, you need an extension. It is a 12 millimeter, so you get that with I think we can get away with a small extension. Oh, we need the adapter too. So this thing, it has a little quick release. You just snap it on in. Boom. 12 point. And you want to make sure, be 100% positive. You don't just zap it all on. You want to start off slow, make sure it catches the threads. You don't have to do it by hand, that's too much work. Stick it in there, start slow. And once you feel it there in a couple times, give it the beans. So, for example, let me bring you guys closer. So I'll do it to this one since you guys can see it. You want to make sure you get it in there, nice and slow. And you want to do both sides. Make sure they're both threaded on, so it's doesn't twist all weird. Once you got it on like that, just fucking yeet, yeet. You're all good. So you just want to keep continuing to do that, slow, slow. Yeet, yeet. Perfect. Slow, yeet, slow, yeet, slow, slow, yeet, yeet. Then once you get the feel for it, you can just start going fast. See? Okay, like nothing happens. This should spin very poorly, but it's okay. Once there's oil in it, it lubes it up. So once your rods are all bolted on, you want to make sure it spins freely. And as you can see, it spins without a problem. And if you listen past the click, you'll hear a little sound. So you want that. That is pretty much rod knock, or your pistons feeling, whatever you want to call it. But that's how you know things are making contact with each other, and you're gonna have a really good sound coming out of that. It's gonna make the engine sound phenomenal. Now that that's done, rods are bolted on. Let's go ahead and flip it around. Just throw the head gasket on there, and we'll throw the head on. You hear that? That's rod knock right there. Ooh, a little too much. Yeah. There we go. Again, don't forget the pin. We're gonna use a little baby hammer this time, but whatever you have to hit it will work. So, common misconception, you want this clean before you put the head gasket on. False. You want this destroyed. You want it dirty, that way it has, you know, the good natural sealing surface, not messed with. So we're gonna leave this like this. We're gonna throw the head gasket on and bolt that 2J head onto this. Where does it sit? Right there. 1JZ block. 2.1J, or whatever you want to call it. You know what? Forget the head gasket. We don't need a head gasket where from. This is a JZ. They last forever. No head gasket needed. You want to just line them up with the dowels. Ow. Watch your fingers. This thing's pretty heavy. Money. You hear that click in place? Yeah, the back was already clicked in. We're good to go. Ow. Everyone says to those fancy dandy ARP head studs, but you know what? I think they're overrated. Stock head bolts, OEM goodness is the way to go. You just grab your bolts, drop them down. All 14 of them. 1, 2, 3, 20, 8, 13, 16, 11. Boom. See, look how simple that was. Stock washers already in there. Didn't have to deal with the whole fancy dandy ARP head stud washer bullshit. Bull crap. And yeah, now we just get a 12mm triple square bit, which I happen to buy. Got this at Amazon. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, guys. Look at this. Boom. Never used it, so we're gonna break her in today. So you get your M12. Should fit perfectly. Let me show you guys that actually. So, triple square tool, and it should just there you go, perfect fit, super snug. Look at that. not gonna strip your tools. So let's go ahead and get that head bolted on. You see this little thing here? This thing is smaller than the tool. Where's it at? So it ain't gonna work. It's all floppy, loosey-goosey in there. So we got this adapter thingamajigger. For that, we want the extension. So we pop this extension on there. Then you get the depth. Look, it goes from small, boom, big. So we're good to go. Let's zap that head on. We don't need extensions where we're from. Anyways, same process with the hand. Slow. And this time we're gonna do alternately. Slow on all of them. Let them just thread themselves in there. Now that they're all threaded, make sure the tool gets properly inserted. Boom. And there's a torque sequence to this. So you want to make sure you go across. I'm not going to tell you this torque sequence because I'm not going to look it up. But pretty much you go across from it. So boom. I just realized I told you to do this completely wrong, by the way. I went from the outside in. You're supposed to, from what I heard, go from the inside out. So disregard that portion, just that portion. Now that the head's on here, we can go ahead and throw the cams. So with the GE non-VVTi, it's pretty self-explanatory which cam goes where, but you do want to keep track of the exhaust and the intake cam because they are different, I believe. Anyways, the GE normally has the distributor here. So there's this gear right here that will go there. So you want to make sure that goes where it's supposed to. You kind of just set it where it wants to go, because there's going to be pressure no matter where you put it, because the cam lobe's going to want to press down on the bucket thingy. But don't worry about it, you'll be fine. You guys have seen my process. I already did it with the rod caps. I did it with the head. Same thing, put the caps on. They are labeled, alright? They're labeled, so they're going back where they came from. But the whole process of a little slow and then boom, zap them in. Same thing, so we're just going to time lapse through this. Once you got your cams on, you're pretty much good to go. Your motor is complete. You just got to throw the valve covers on. But we're going to throw the oil pump on because we have it. So you just kind of slip it on in there. Let the gears align. Something's in the way. Maybe you have to do it straight. And then turn it. Boom, there we go. Boom. There we go. We got a completed motor, oil pump and everything. We're going to replace the water pump anyway, so we're good. So, yeah, this is how you put it together. But, ow, bitch. This is how you put together a 2J head on a 1JZ bottom end. Take notes, guys. World's first, maybe. 2.1J. Because 1.5 is one almost to a 2J, 1.5. But what do you call it when you're stripping it down? Like 2.1 is technically bigger than 2J. So like 2.5 point J. What would you call this, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you think of this video in the comments down below. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed that little comedic. If you thought it was comedic. It was kind of funny to me. I don't do videos like these. I don't really do stupid things like that. But I wanted my space back. And look, now I got a whole table. And that's in its own thing. It's taking up the same amount of room over there, but nothing here. So I just want to point out, please, please, please do not use this video as a how-to. If you guys couldn't tell, I was obviously joking through that whole thing. That block is probably going to be trashed. That crank is fucked up. It's not going to be able to be used. The head, it's usable, but it's been up for sale for like a few months now. No one's been wanting it, so I don't have room. I made sure to actually put the cams in there properly. It might not look like it in the video, but I did put them in there properly how they're supposed to, so it doesn't damage them. So the head should still be okay. But yeah, those pistons, those rods, everything would need to be redone in that block. So I figured, why not have a little bit of fun, save some room. So yeah, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy that. I know I did. Got my space back on my table. So that being said, I'm glad I was able to get a video out for you guys. It's been tough lately, running out of content. trying to figure out parts for the 1.5J. We'll get back to that soon, but until then, hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out. See you in the next one.